chicken jockey.
The Minecraft movie, starring Jack Black and Jason Momoa, is opening this weekend. And if the Walt Disney Company was hoping beyond hope that this movie would also fail to wipe the stain of Snow White off the box office map and make people forget just how big a failure that movie is, well, too bad, Disney. That ain't happening. Not only is the Minecraft movie meeting and exceeding projections coming into this weekend, it is absolutely obliterating them. And I, quite frankly, am a bit shocked. Renegade Online. Well, folks, welcome back. Another great day here at Valiant Renegade. It's good to see all of you out there once again. And if you are like one of the many watching this video not yet subscribed to this channel, please take a moment and turn that little red subscribe button to gray. Hit that like button, hit that notification bell, share this sucker out on the social medias, and of course, please do leave a comment before you head out the door today. Make sure to join us every Sunday and Wednesday evening at 6 p.m. Eastern right here for the live show. To illustrate just how big things are for Warner Brothers and Minecraft right now, we need to take a quick look at Snow White once again, which now stands through 14 days of release at $71.3 million. That's all the way up through Thursday, April 3rd. Globally at $147 million, although probably about 10 or 15 million of international box office yet to be reported. We'll see it collectively thrown in there on Sunday, along with whatever happens this weekend. But what's critical for comparison to remind folks of is that just 2 weeks ago, Snow White, the live-action remake starring Rachel Zegler, opened with $42.2 million in the domestic market. That's the U.S. and Canada, and about $87 million globally in total. On Wednesday, April 2nd, Anthony D'Alessandro and Nancy Tartaglione tag team for this article in Deadline, suggesting that the Minecraft movie would open to about $140 million globally, already way ahead of Snow White's $87 million. Warner Brothers themselves, according to these two, was playing it even a bit more conservatively, estimating that about $65 million North American or domestic box office and $65 million overseas, including China, would come in through the 3-day opening weekend with Thursday night previews. Now, even with $130 million, using a slightly more lowball figure that Warner Brothers was throwing out there, that would still be close to $40 to $50 million ahead of where Snow White opened. And that alone would be a big problem for Disney in terms of humiliation and embarrassment. Snow White, that cost about $300 million net, even after film tax credits to make, once all the costs are going to be tallied up over the next 12 months. Another $111 million, according to Deadline, to market the film. You're talking about a movie that all in cost the Walt Disney Company over $400 million to produce and put into theaters. Warner Brothers, on the other hand, with the Minecraft movie, well, right now, without any other information contradicting it, is being suggested that it came in around $150 million to produce. Even if Warner Brothers spent roughly the same amount as Disney in marketing at $100 million, that's only about a $250 million all-in capital investment versus over $400 million. The threshold for the Minecraft movie is probably somewhere around $500 million of box office to break even, a much lower tier than the $800+ million that Snow White needs to bust through the red ink. Then came some abysmal early reactions from the professional critics out there. Not terribly dissimilar from Snow White, although scarily even better than Snow White, because Snow White was pretty awful. Minecraft is pretty awful with a 48% critic score. But here's the difference. The audience score for the Minecraft movie is at 83%. Now, take that for what it's worth, because the box office, the money train, is always, and I mean always, the real bellwether of what's going on. So what is actually happening with the Minecraft movie? Is it hitting its target of $130 million as we record this on Friday evening? Yes, and then some. As of right now, it is starting to look like the Minecraft movie is going to easily cruise through about $100 million just in North America alone. That is to say, that's more than double what Snow White did 2 weeks ago. Now, I actually went to go see the Minecraft movie Thursday night, April 3rd, with Renegade Jr. because, hey, he's a 13, almost 14-year-old kid. He is the absolute dead center of the target demographic for this film. He wasn't too enamored with a lot of the trailers and the previews for it, but he said, Dad, I want to go see this anyway because it's Minecraft. I want to check it out. Well, apparently he wasn't alone, and I thought that might be the case early on. And one of the things I brought up during an exclusive members live stream just last night after I got back from the theater was it was very, very easy to observe the fact that there were roughly 3 times, at least 3 times as many people in the theater at the same time on a Thursday night preview that I sat in 2 weeks ago for Snow White. And sure enough, when the Thursday preview figures for Minecraft came out, they were almost exactly 3 times higher than Snow White at 10.5 million compared to Snow White's 3.5 million 2 weeks ago. According to Deadline, this is translating into $50 million on Friday alone, which would include the Thursday previews of 10.5. That means that what Deadline is suggesting as of right now, given the extreme overperformance compared to what even Warner Brothers said just 2 days ago, that this movie should easily exceed the 50 million, may wind up being 55 or even higher $1 million on Friday with the Thursday previews. That means that on the first day, the real Friday, excluding Thursday previews, that the Minecraft movie is going to completely outperform the entire 3-day opening weekend with the Thursday previews for Walt Disney's Rachel Zegler Snow White. In addition, rival studios and distributors are actually being more generous, saying that they are seeing $130+ million opening weekend for Minecraft. Yeah, we're talking about a Minecraft opening, if they are correct, that is going to be more than 3 times the opening weekend of Disney's Snow White. It is clearly, according to Deadline magazine, the biggest opening year to date on a 3-day basis, ahead of Captain America Brave New World at $88.8 million. The over-indexing on Thursday night had to do with great late-night business. Warner Brothers is also precision targeting audiences on digital in regards to ticket promotions, a practice that's doable in this day and age for motion picture studios when the social media metrics team and distribution analytics teams meet. I believe every word of it because, again, just through personal observation, even though considered anecdotal evidence in my small New Orleans suburb, the fact of the matter remains that going into the theater and having the audience that we did in the same theater, sitting in the same auditorium, the same screen in the same theater as I did 2 weeks ago, on the same exact night of the week, Thursday previews, at the same exact time, 6 p.m. Central, and 3 times to 4 times the amount of audience was sitting in there for Minecraft as they were Snow White. And when we got out, instead of 2 weeks ago, where the theater was a ghost town, there was another huge load of teenagers, high school kids, just walking in the door. An entire group of 15 or 20 of them from a local high school, all wearing blue shirts and jeans, dressed up as Minecraft Steve, walking into the next showing that was about to start at 9 p.m.
But wait, there's more.
According to Nancy Tartaglione's international report from this morning, a Minecraft movie breaks ground overseas with a strong $18 million start through Thursday. And here we go. It gets even better for this movie. Warner Brothers and Legendary's Minecraft movie is digging into a strong start at international boxes, with projections for the overseas and global weekend rising. Through Thursday, in 55 offshore markets, the running cume is at $18.4 million. This does not, repeat, not include Friday's China opening. China, which was the biggest for a Hollywood film so far this year, at an estimated $6.6 million. And along with China, 19 other markets open today, including the United Kingdom and Spain. We'll know better tomorrow how high the Jason Momoa Jack Black Star's global launch could go, but it's looking like upwards of $90 million international. I'll make the call right now. The international box is probably going to be over 100 million, and I think comfortably over 100 million with the way this movie is outpacing its tracking from just 2 or 3 days ago. I mean, 130 to 140 million just yesterday and the day before, and now we may be looking at somewhere close to a $250 million global opening. That is a radical overperformance. And what that tells me is that nobody predicted the amount of walk-up traffic this movie would have. I think a lot of the experts out there probably thought, because of having a male-dominated video game audience, that this would react in pre-sales a lot like, say, a Marvel Cinematic Universe title, where we would see a healthy amount of pre-sales that would give us a pretty good gauge of opening weekend. That did not happen in this case. There were not a whole lot of pre-sales to drive the numbers up, but the walk-up traffic clearly, obviously, outperformed estimates by damn near double. It obviously doesn't matter what the critics think. The audiences are extremely pleased with this movie, no doubt, considering what the box office opening weekend is going to look like. Now, that, of course, could change over the coming days if word of mouth gets out and people think that it's terrible. I, for one, as I said during the member stream last night, thought this was a pretty awful movie. I mean, I've played Minecraft. I understand it. I thought this was tacky and campy. But hey, Warner Brothers and Legendary obviously knew what they were doing, because they've clearly hit their target demographic. And hitting that target demographic is more important from a business and financial perspective than trying to please a bunch of Hollywood critics. And this movie clearly is doing it. Even if audiences like my son, Renegade Jr., looked at the movie and said, it wasn't all that great, it could have been a lot better, he still wanted to go see it. There were still elements in there that made him chuckle, and he enjoyed it. And it seems like he wasn't the only one. And this may continue to drive this movie to big success. I had a lot of concern about this movie actually getting to a $500 million margin. But my God, at this point, if the opening weekend is $250 million, this movie should have absolutely no problem crossing into profitability before it leaves theaters. And I can't even imagine, given the circumstances, what premium video on demand or PVOD is going to look like. Not to mention, if Warner Brothers and David Zaslav wisely opens this thing up for third-party distribution after a brief run on Max, or HBO Max, they'll make a ton of money on this thing. I honestly can't believe it, but here it is. Make sure you're subscribed to Valiant Renegade and join us every Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern for the live show.